Hey, we are back. It is Kimberly and Marvin B.
Yes, it is. Good morning.
Yes, it's good to be back in the studio,
Good to be
right?
back. Yes, God is good
Yes, He is all the
all
time,
the time.
y'all. Another episode of TTL
Yes.
today. I am Kimberly B. Like I said, my host, Marvin C. Bozeman. We want you to know that you're listening to a Gold Chip communication station. You can listen live if you go to
Yes.
www.1580thepraise.com. All you have to do is click on Listen Live.
Mm.
Or you can go to the Facebook page, TTL, Talk Therapy Live, and go ahead and chat with us. And, we can have a good discussion
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
All right, so my office, physical address, I'm the owner of Healthy Emotes Counseling Services, located at 1011 East Jenkins Avenue, Columbus, Ohio. Yes, I am still doing video therapy. Yes, I am. I'm doing it in my office. But if you need an appointment to check out and to manage and maintain your mental health, go ahead and call me. 614-669-5115. And Honorable Bishop
Hey,
Bozeman, where are
listen.
you located?
I am located right here, right now in the studio.
Well, all right.
Yeah. Church 1571, South Parsons Avenue. Listen, we always have a wonderful time in the Lord, and you are always welcome to come and visit us 11 o'clock on Sunday. So come on out, amen, when you get an opportunity and worship with us. If you don't
Worship.
have a church home now, yes.
But just let me pause for the cause really quick. I want to say happy anniversary. This
Okay.
is our 23rd pastoral
Are you sure it's the
anniversary.
23rd? I really believe it's like the 25th
The
or something like that. We're going to do the math and get back with everybody. Maybe 30th or something. Kind of feels like
20th.
that.
I know it feels like it, sweetheart. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
Most definitely.
Well, nonetheless, happy anniversary, and
Praise
I am
God.
so
Amen.
proud to call you my bishop,
All right.
my pastor,
All right.
and my covering.
All right. Praise
And I
God.
honor you and I respect you
Bless
for
you.
the man of God that you are. Thank you
Yeah.
for leading me and guiding me in the truth and in the ways of God, and
Yeah.
being responsible for my spiritual growth.
Praise God.
So I
Amen.
want to say thank
Well,
you.
thank you, ma'am. You got me
Yes.
sweating now. You know. Well, thank you for making preaching easy, pastoring easy. I believe every pastor needs to have a congregation of people that makes what they do easy. But then God will sometimes put people in your path,
Oh yes.
to kind of help you out a little bit.
Yes,
you
it
know,
help
so
you to stay on your knees
help
and
you
no
to stay.
longer.
Yes, exactly. So, hey,
Well,
we thank God for that. Amen.
well, like I said, it's definitely my honor, and it's
Praise
my
God.
honor to be there to
Yeah.
support you and to pray for you too.
Amen.
As
All
your
right.
wife.
Yes.
So,
Thank God.
well, today it's a hot topic today,
Yeah.
but it's a topic that we have to have. September is National Suicide Prevention Month, but this is a subject matter that we should talk about all the time, not just certain months. When you think about, we're dealing with the loss of people's lives.
Yeah.
People who feel like they have no hope for their future. Those are devastating effects, especially for the loved ones, for the
Right.
friends who are left behind. So we have to talk about it more. But it's just like death and
Yeah.
talking about your will and things like that. We don't like to talk about.
Right. We don't. We don't. For obvious reasons too, as well. I mean, it's not something that we are used to actually talking about because maybe we haven't had the information, that's needed for us to have an intelligent discussion about mental health awareness.
Yes.
So
Yes.
my people are the story for the lack of
The lack of knowledge. But
yeah.
listen, and this is not just a cliche.
Yeah.
But whatever you do not address, you give permission to exist.
Yeah.
Like if you see a loved one who is going through some changes, or they seem down and they seem out, and we ignore that because we're afraid to approach people, right?
Yeah, most definitely.
You know, we're like, oh, you know, they'll be okay. They're
Yeah.
just going through something
Yeah.
right now. It is incumbent upon you and I, because we know that suicide, the rates, the statistics are astounding. As a matter of fact, based on the statistics for 2020, suicide is the 10th leading cause of death. 132 Americans die every day from suicide. Those are just the ones reported.
Yeah.
132, and then 1.4 million people attempt suicide.
Yeah, yeah.
So-
Many, and that number is too great. The number is too high, you know, for a temporary problem.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
and some people feel like, hey, man, my life has been like this since I've been in the world. You know
Yes,
what I mean?
absolutely.
So, and I know that there have to be certain places. A lot of people just need a boost, you know, of self-confidence. You know, a boost. Some people just need an opportunity to prove themselves.
Yes.
You know. And it will probably change their whole world. It'll
Yes.
change their whole life.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely. That confidence goes a long way,
Yeah.
because a lot of times people, there's many causes for suicide.
Mm-hmm.
You know, 90% of the statistics
Yeah.
prove that 90% already have mental health issues. So we
Okay.
know that
Yeah.
there are many reasons why people commit suicide. And like you said, the lack of confidence is one, because oftentimes we feel inadequate. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
we feel like we have no purpose. I'm going to
Yeah.
say good morning to Ida
Yeah.
Trout and Brittany
Yeah.
Bloom Bozeman. Good morning, family.
No confidence within yourself. You know, I've learned that you must believe in you. You have to believe in yourself. That is that confidence that you need. A lot of people don't have it, you know, but you definitely need that. That's reaffirming, even from childhood on up.
Yes.
Sometimes children can pick up ideas and thoughts from other children, you know, but we have to make sure that we reaffirm from children on up to adulthood, so that person can be filled with self-confidence. I can do anything. You have to have that, you know, not just in your mind, but let it become who you are.
Yes.
Like you're unstoppable.
Yeah.
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So suicide is not an option.
It's not an
Yeah,
option, because it's a permanent fix to a manageable
Yeah,
problem.
yeah.
Because Bishop said, you know, you could have had this problem all of your life.
Yes.
But, you know, we talk about confidence and believing in yourself, because we don't have the opportunity to develop and nurture ourselves from birth all the way up to adulthood. Other people, our environment shapes us and it grooms
Most
us,
definitely.
and oftentimes it's not favorable.
Yeah,
You know, so
yeah.
now we have to grow up and we have to take responsibility for where we are in life at this particular time. Who am I,
Yeah.
and where am I?
Yeah.
You know, because if you grow up in a toxic environment, and you grow up in a hostile environment, or you grow up in a negative environment, you become a product
Most definitely.
of that
Of
environment.
that environment all the day long.
You know, I often, you know, in counseling, I often ask people, tell me about some of your innate qualities. You know, they begin to talk, that the first thing they talk about are the negative things. No, we don't want to talk about the negative things right now. Tell me, who are you? What are you made of? They're like, well, you know, I'm a helper, I'm nice, I'm intelligent, you know, I love people. These are innate characteristics that you have to know that there is good in you. You are not all bad.
No, you're not all bad. All of those that you just named are actually your gifts to the world.
Your gifts to the world.
So why take something out of the world that's really needed?
That's good.
It's
a good
needed.
point. That's
you
a
know,
good point.
you're needed. You know, someone needs to know that you are needed. And those gifts of loving people, helping people, all of that, this world needs that.
That's right. But you know, it's so overshadowed by all the negative things.
It is.
When you look
Yeah.
at the demographics of children and like our adolescents, because they're at high risk for suicide. Adolescents and of course our elderly people. And we have other demographics we want to talk about too. But when you think about adolescents, they're just now trying to find out who they are. They're like coming into themselves. They don't know who they are.
Right.
All they know is that they have these crazy hormones, and one day they're happy, the next day they're sad. They're just like all over the place.
Yeah.
You know, and you have bullying
Exactly.
in school. You know, and then you feel like you don't really fit in
Yeah.
anywhere.
Yeah.
So that confidence is definitely challenged. It's definitely challenged. You know, so we have to really make sure that we are talking to our children when they come home from school, because a lot of times it is hard to talk to parents.
Yeah. So you have to have someone to talk with.
Yes.
You know, have to have someone other than yourself, other than your friends and things of that nature. You have to have someone to talk to. I remember in school you had guidance counselors and things of that nature.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So you kind of, I don't know if they still have it or not in school, but you need some type of mentor that you can talk to that will kind of help you set your mind straight.
That's right. Yes.
You know, and don't always go in like, hey, I already know what they're going to say.
Because you
and
don't
all
have
of
a
that.
clue.
You don't have a clue. Yeah,
But
exactly.
you know, children will talk to other children. So this is Suicide Awareness Month.
Yes.
And even in the schools, I feel like we could probably help a little more if we encourage our children that if one of your friends comes to you and tell you that, you know, they've been thinking about, you know, taking their life or ending it all, that you actually tell somebody, you may be challenged with, you know, I don't want to tell their secret, but you're talking about someone ending their life.
Yeah.
You're talking about they're no longer being here in this world with you or with anyone else.
Yeah.
So that can be something like for the principals to have you know an audience, you know, whatever they need to do to bring the people together, but to also share, you know, if someone tells you they confide in you, you're really doing them a favor by telling someone else, telling that parent that
someone
Johnny,
that can do something about the situation. You know, I remember growing up, and you know, if you told a secret of someone, they would call you what? A tattletale.
A tattletale, yes.
It is okay
Yes.
to be a
Because you're
tattletale.
saving a life.
Most definitely.
Yes.
So go ahead and tell someone that's able, you know, to do. And there are so many different numbers out there to tell. Sometimes you may tell a parent, or you may tell another adult, and they may not take it as serious as they should. So there are numbers that maybe you can call that can actually get in touch with the family members or whatever, so that it's handled properly. Because sometimes as parents you miss it, you dismiss it, and this child really needs help.
That's right. So once you are aware of it, then you need to reach out to someone else for the help, for help. You know, and if you are one who has thought about suicide, or you are one who have attempted suicide, please reach out to the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255. Because like Bishop said, you're necessary. What you have inside of you, you're a necessary component for the world.
And the grooming place for success, I believe, and reaffirming who you are, starts in the home. So if the child does not feel as if they are, you know, capable of doing anything, they don't feel good about themselves at home. So, and we're saying always, everything begins at home. I don't care what anyone said. I think we leave it up to our educational institutions to do what it is that we should do at home, whether you're a single father or a single mother, you have to do what you can do to make sure that your children are okay mentally.
But you know what, Bishop? Um, you know, social media has
Yeah.
really hurt how we parent because the children are on social media so much
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
share it. And I'm not sure because I don't have children now
Yeah.
in this age.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how frequent parents can go in and look at their children's tablet
Yeah.
to see what they're saying to people.
Well, I'm glad you say that, but what do you feel is a good safe age for children to be on the internet or have their own phone or their own tablet? What's a good safe
Well,
age?
in this generation, I don't think that there is a safe age because they're, you know, our grandbaby,
Yeah.
you know, before she was sitting up, she was on it.
Yeah, yeah.
But I just feel like there should be parameters, there should be guidelines, there should be structure.
Yeah.
You know, first things are first. You're gonna come in, you're gonna get your homework done. You can get like an hour time, but then you're blocked on A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K.
Yeah.
You're blocked.
Yeah.
I'm going in. I'm
Yeah.
doing that. I'm blocking all of that. And at the end of the day, I know that there's a way to check the history
Yeah.
to see what sites and things that they're on because they share so much with other people on social
But something
media.
better would be if if they're smaller children and they have an iPad or a tablet or a phone, whenever they are on it, it must be in the presence of their mom or their dad.
That's a good idea.
That's,
Yeah.
That will eliminate anything, and once they are done with it, the parent gets it. You know, because there's too many avenues, you know, for other things to come into that. And next thing you know, this little Susie is 8. She has Instagram. She has Facebook.
Yes, yes,
At 8,
yes.
because these children today are smart.
They're very smart. And the
They're
thing
smart.
is that our children will not always be around. All we can do is all we can do.
Yeah, but while they're in your home, do that.
Yes, and at
Do
least
that.
at
Manage
least
that.
put their,
Control that.
Yeah, let them use it like in the open area or whatever.
Right where you are. That's what I'm saying. If you're on it, if little Jake, or it says Susie then.
Yes.
If little Jake is going to be on it, I'm going to be right here. Little Jake is going to be right here, so
Yeah.
we can see.
Right, and participate in their schoolwork. We're doing this
Pay
together.
attention to what it is they're clicking on, what they're doing. Listen, it's a must.
And the other thing is that there is, and good morning, Mary Stevenson. I see you made it in.
Good
Thank
morning,
you.
Mrs. Mary and Miss Correa.
Miss
Good morning.
Correa, good morning
Yeah.
to you. Another issue, we're talking about our children right now because they are at high risk
Yeah.
for suicide,
Yeah.
okay? Another barrier is that they have too much time alone, like parents. I mean, they'll go in their room, they'll lock
Yeah.
the door,
Yeah.
you know, say like, why Benita
Yeah.
or whatever needs her privacy, you know, but you need to go in
Why
and
say
check.
Benita? Why couldn't it be Beth?
Beth or Benita or Donita or Karen or
Yeah.
Sue
Or Donna.
or you know what
Yeah.
I mean? We just have to be more engaged
Yeah.
because our children are dying. And no,
Yeah.
it's not our fault if they do commit suicide because we will not always be able to see the signs.
Yeah.
We won't but there are some signs.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
if you notice behavior changes,
Mm-hmm.
if you notice your children, they have a lack of interest
Yeah.
in things that they used to love to do.
Yeah.
You know, Keith used to love playing basketball
Mm-hmm.
or soccer, and they're like, nah, you know,
Yeah.
they've changed.
Yeah.
You know something is going on
Right.
with them.
Yeah.
You know, or
Yeah.
if you have a child or an adult, this is for anyone across the board, that, you know, they're at a state of being in despondent, or they're down and out, and all of
Yeah.
a sudden they're happy.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, okay, what flipped
Yeah.
that switch?
Yeah.
A lot of times, or oftentimes, they'll switch off like that because they feel like they have found the answer. They've been
Okay.
contemplating suicide,
Yeah.
but now they're more comfortable.
Right.
Now they're more at peace with it. They have their plan together.
Yeah.
They know how they're going to do it. So now they're at peace with what they're going to do.
Yeah.
So if you notice these little signs, listen, we have to learn how to talk.
Yeah. Parents have to go back to being parents. Parents need to go back to being nosy parents.
Yes.
All right? Snoop the room or whatever you want to call it. Matter of fact, it's your house.
Yes.
Right? Or your apartment, you paying the rent. And if you got a no trespassing sign over the door, check this out. I had one. It didn't mean nothing to my
It
grandmother,
means
trust
nothing.
me. I just put it up. I don't know. I think I saw it maybe on the movie. I thought it would be
Because
nice to
grown
have.
means what?
Yeah,
Gone.
yeah.
You on your own.
I had one, and man, I come in from school. My grandmother, she done washed the clothes.
That's
You know,
right.
she done threw away phone numbers I had.
That's right.
You know, all of that.
Yes.
It meant nothing, you know.
Because we need to know.
Need to know, you got to
what
go and
is-
see what's going on.
That's right. Because
Yeah.
children are not going to tell the
Not
parents.
going to tell, no.
All right.
No.
So
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah.
open up the lines of communication.
Yeah.
Notice your children. I know everybody is on their phones. And notice their
Yeah. At the same
behaviors.
time, let me say this though, it's important that, as I stated earlier, I really believe this, if you have a young child, make sure that they are on, that computer, that laptop, whatever it is, in front of you on that machine.
But
as old people would
after
say.
you have already gone in
Yeah.
to set whatever you want to block.
Right,
The
right.
parental,
Yeah, but check this out. You have to do it because other children get on and talk about committing suicide. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
it catches the attention maybe of a little boy or girl that's depressed or whatever.
Indeed.
They hear that.
Yes.
And they think it's okay, and sometime and it's done. So we want to make sure that hey, what are you looking at? Who is that? What is that?
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
You have to be in tune with what's going on with yours.
But like you started out saying, that confidence, you may be one who has no self-esteem. You may be one where you feel like you don't have any confidence. You may feel like you are not valued, or you're not important to yourself or to the world, or like your life does not matter. You've been believing a lie for way too long,
Too long.
because your environment has
Yeah.
shaped you.
Yeah.
All of the thoughts that you have been rooted in your past experiences.
Yeah.
No, they may not have been conducive, or they may not have been favorable, or you may have had painful experiences. But that's not the end.
It's not the end.
That's not the end.
Right.
And again, suicide is a permanent solution to a manageable problem.
Yeah.
It may not ever go away, but if you talk to someone, we can figure out coping strategies and ways that you can manage it.
Right,
And
right,
now we
right.
talked about many reasons for suicide. Let's talk a little bit, and I really, Bishop, want you to be transparent and vulnerable on this one, because this is something that a lot of people face, and that is chronic pain.
Yeah.
Some commit suicide because they're tired of living in pain. What would you say to someone who is suffering?
Someone who suffering with pain, make sure you go to your doctor. You know, go to your your physician. Explain to them what it is and how it is that you feel about the pain that's going on with you and the pain that's going on in you. It's very important, to make sure that, hey, I'm already on enough medication. Is there something else? Because my physical pain is now becoming mental pain. It's becoming, I think it's leading to mental illness because my thoughts are not right. So I'm tired of being in this place. I've been through it. I've had back surgery a few times, issues with my leg. I can kind of go on. I'm not breaking down. I think I'm building up now.
No, you're just...
You know what I mean? But it must be, you have to be able to, articulate and express to your doctor about what it is that you feel.
But let's talk about that
Yeah.
a little bit, because I'm on this journey with you, and I know the enormous pain
Yeah.
that you be in,
Yeah.
and we get tired of telling the doctor, because
Yeah.
it seems like all they want to do is
Yeah.
throw medication. It's
Exactly.
like they don't really, and they can't really feel your pain.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so they're like, okay, well, let me write another. Tired
Right.
of
Yeah.
scripts.
Yeah.
You know,
But
so
you know what? YouTube, you can Google anything, and I think now we're beginning to take advantage of these different avenues that are given to us to be able to manage what it is that we have. Whatever we have may not go away. It may be there for the rest of your life, but like you stated, at least you can manage it better. You know.
can
at
you
least
speak
can
to
manage
us
it better.
about how you handle it mentally? Because I know you press past your pain.
Yeah.
I know you do that, but what's here? What's going on mentally? How do you overcome?
I believe most definitely by way of my relationship with God Himself. You know, I believe that being able to communicate and talk and to take the way I feel, to be able to take that to the Lord and allow for that to help me with being able to cope with whatever it is that I have. Not only that, it's always good to have someone who's able to reaffirm the fact that, hey, you're going to get better. You're going to get better. You have to have a good team member to coach you on and to help you out, with what it is that you feel within yourself. Those things are good, so you have to, I think, good ways of doing it is to do things that you enjoy doing. If you can do that. Some things that I enjoy doing, I may not be able to do now because of certain physical ailments, but I have to find a way of being able to do that so I don't lose who I am.
Yes.
Because
yes.
if you don't, you sit around, you're depressed all the time, then you're on, depression medication. So you have to find ways that will suit you to make you feel better.
So you have to radically accept your new normal.
You have to do that. You have to do that because if not, your thoughts are everywhere. I'm not going to get better, or I will stay this way. That sound mind that Second Timothy 1:7 talks about. You don't have, your thoughts are like everywhere.
Yes.
So and it plays with your mind. It plays with who you are. It's
So-
like your mind starts to play tricks on you a little bit.
Yeah. So
Most
do I hear you saying that part of your coping mechanism, is your support system with people,
Most
but then
definitely.
the relationship you have with God.
Most
It doesn't
definitely.
sound like your pain is getting lighter, but that you're able to cope with the pain
I'm able to
because
cope.
you have those pieces together.
Most definitely, and when I say God, that's who I am. I'm a man of God. I'm a preacher of God's word, and so that's my first go-to. For someone else, it may be something else. For someone else, it may be going and sitting by the lake and looking at the ducks or whatever it is that helps you through what it is, the pain that you have. Do that. For me, it's God first.
Yes.
So and then those that are around me, because when you're going through, you never want negative people around you.
Oh,
you
that's
know.
very important.
Yeah, very
please.
important. So that good
What-
support
what-
system is
What
needed.
does God do for you? And Sister Harvey, I did see that you do have a question, and you can definitely go ahead and propose that when you're ready. But what does God do or provide for you?
He gives me a sound mind. He gives me that soundness of mind that is needed. So he reaffirms the fact, hey, that I'm getting better. Some things I've learned we may ask God to take away, that he allows to stay with us in order to keep us at a place of being humble, or keep us on our knees praying.
Do you ever get upset with God?
No, I've never gotten upset with him concerning my physical health at all. It's just that I know that He's with me.
Yes.
You know,
Yes,
so
that's very
when He's
important.
with you, you can go through anything. So there's never
Yes.
time of getting upset. Lord, you said, and you know, I don't do that. I will remind Him and bring to, so to speak, His remembrance of what His Word says.
Yes.
You know, I'll do that because you're standing on the principles of the Word of God. If healing doesn't come to me, well, who should it come to?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm your manservant, and hey, I
But
just know God is
do
with me.
admire how you go through this storm.
God's
I know,
with me.
I know, but just to
Yeah.
watch how you are with all of this going on
Yeah.
in your body,
Yeah.
and nobody can
Yeah.
really help. I can be there to a point,
Yeah.
but I can't take away your pain. I can
Yeah.
try to help ease the pain.
Most definitely.
You
Yeah.
know, but I
Yeah.
admire, you know, how you still serve God
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
just go on,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
I think when it's who you are, it becomes easy for us to press past that
Yes.
pain, to move forward and do the will of God. You know?
Yeah.
Because He's with. I feel His presence. I know He's with me. You know, I know that He's in me. So hey, I'm good with it.
Are people that are overdose classified as being suicidal? Let me see if I understand it.
Was that
Are-
the question?
Yes. Are people that are overdosed classified as being suicidal? We know that,
At times, I would say.
well,
That's
yeah.
still a professional in that area. Yeah.
I won't say yes. I will say that it is a contributory factor. I would definitely say that it contributes to suicidal thoughts and ideations, because whenever you're on drugs, you're not in your right mind. You are irrational.
Yeah.
You know, and depending on what type of drugs you're taking, you know what I mean? You could really become suicidal. We know that you can be you can be overdosed on drugs and not even know it. For instance, you can take all these pills we talk about, the doctor prescribes. We could be overdosing, but not have the intent of being suicidal. But a lot of times what we try to do is numb the pain of life. We try to drown our sorrows, and we understand that sorrows don't drown.
Or the physical pain that you do have. You know, you can take so many I believe it's important that you know how to take your medication.
Absolutely.
You know,
Yes.
sometimes we may take it wrong, and it has you feeling a certain way, and has your mind in a place that it would never be.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So
But
we
this
have
is
to make sure we
the
take it as
importance of
prescribed.
management.
Yeah.
You never ever allow your doctor just to prescribe you something and there's no follow-up.
Ask questions about
ask
it. Hey,
questions.
what is this? What will it do to
Yes.
me? How can it harm me?
Well,
You know?
and they will give you that whole list of side effects. It
Yeah.
may or may not affect you, but you
Yeah.
know you.
Yes.
You know when
Yes.
something is not right in your body.
Most
You
definitely.
know when you're feeling a certain way. So it's going to be on you to pick up the phone and call the doctor and say, you know what, you got me on this Zoloft and I
Yeah.
feel a certain way. Can we reduce it? You know, or if you feel like it's not working, can we increase it?
Yeah.
So you have to know you and know your body, and you be the one to really talk to. The doctors are busy, but they have to take your call.
Yeah.
Okay, so hopefully that answers your question. Michael K. Williams, the actor, died of overdose.
Yeah.
Perfect example.
Yeah.
So the overdoses, again, can come from not being able to cope with life, not seeing hope for your future.
There's already a pre-existing situation.
There's external and internal.
Yeah,
You deal
most
with
definitely.
internal situations with your pain and with the CML. Other people can deal with a loss of a job or a loss of a relationship.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah.
So we have to really, really try to have a healthy mind. Like you said, having a sound mind. We have to try to increase our resiliency.
Yeah. But that sound mind simply means self-control.
Self-control.
But you have to have that. You know, you have to have self-control in situations that are unfavorable
Yes.
for you.
Yes.
Say,
Yes.
like the actor that was just with Michael Williams.
Uh-huh.
You know, actors and actresses go through periods of time when they are unemployed.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Long periods of time. That's why you may see them on commercials, or
That's right.
you know what I mean. They're you know, trying to promote things that they don't even use, but that's to kind of keep the bills paid.
Yes.
And then some sit without doing nothing. They may have to go back to a good 9 to 5. Some recently it was one that was working at
Grocery store.
yeah, something like that. You know what I mean? But he do what you have to do. But then there are those that can't see themselves doing that at all, and so they're in a place that's mentally
Right.
that's not good.
Exactly.
So people turn to drugs and alcohol.
That's right. And
Yes.
for me, not having a sound mind is someone who allows external events and situations to
Yeah.
determine their mindset and their mood.
Yeah.
And if that is the case,
Yeah.
you're going to be in and out, up and
Right.
down all of the time, because
Yeah.
this is life. Life is not always going to be in your favor.
Right.
Sometimes you have to go through the valley. You have to suffer some things.
Yeah.
But one thing you can control is your mindset. I usually tell
Yeah.
my clients, you have a choice to be who you want to be, and you get to
Yeah.
choose who you want to be and how you want to be
Yeah. Yeah.
in the midst of your situation. You can
Yeah.
be kicking and screaming, mad at God, giving up on Him, not attending church,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
not preaching, but
Yeah.
you choose.
Yeah. Why? You have to fight for it.
You have to fight.
So
for
when
it.
things are not in the most favorable position for you, you have to fight for what it is that you want.
That's right.
You have to sort of take it. You have to have that mindset.
Yes.
You know, I'm
Well,
fighting for it. I'm not going down like this.
Well, the
you know?
truth of the matter is,
Yeah.
we all only have one mind.
Correct.
We
Yeah.
have all these limbs. We got
Yeah.
10,
Yeah.
fingers
Yeah.
and toes, and you have one mind.
Yes.
So we can't afford to lose it. So our mind is worth fighting for.
Always.
It's worth
you want to
fighting
keep
for.
it. You want to keep that.
And you want to keep a sound
Yes,
mind.
yeah. And
Because
you want to be clear.
And there's a thin
Yeah,
line
yeah.
between mental health and the demonic.
Most definitely.
There's a that veil
Most definitely.
is very, very thin.
Yeah,
So I'm often deciphering, what do I have before me? What is this?
Well, I believe that's the importance of mental health clinics and those that are operating that profession to be in collaboration with pastors.
Yes, yes.
I think the blessing that we both have the spiritual, but then we have, the professional part of it. So we're able to work together
Oh, yes.
and come to a, conclusion or pinpoint somewhat what is going on. Everything is not demonic based.
That is correct.
Some
That is
people just
correct.
have a chemical imbalance,
That's
and
right.
you may need medication. Right, from what I hear from you, you may need medication
if you need
to make
medication,
it work for
take your the whole goal is so that you can function at optimal performance
Yeah.
in your life.
Yes.
You want to live a good life, so you have to take something that's going to increase the chemicals in your brain so you can have a sound and stable mind.
We take pills for everything else.
Yes.
We do.
Blood
So
pressure.
blood
and-
pressure pills,
Right.
the blue pill.
Yeah.
For those that having issues with, that thing.
Yes.
or whatever the case may be. Honestly, we take pills for everything else. Why not, if there is an imbalance within you,
Yes.
why not take something
Because
that's
then
going to
everybody
help you?
they flip it and they get upside down spiritually now.
Most
Well,
definitely.
I don't want to take a pill for my mind and da da da. Well,
Hey.
you're in and out.
Yeah, there is a chemical
Yes.
imbalance.
Yes.
So take what's needed to make sure everything balances out.
yes.
I have no problem with it.
Absolutely.
I do. I have no
Absolutely.
problem. Then you do have the the other side.
You do
know.
have the, because
Yes.
the enemy will monopolize on any situation. And
yeah.
why not take your mind while your mind
Yes,
is weak?
most
Because
definitely.
he understands that with the mind we serve the Lord.
Exactly.
So
Yeah,
he is
yeah.
going to try to monopolize on your mental health
Yes,
issues.
yes.
And another reason, you know, one of the demographics that are at risk for committing suicide are those that are lonely.
Yeah.
You know, because when you're by yourself,
Yeah.
the enemy can really play mind games
Yeah.
on
And
you.
let me speak to loneliness. You know, there are when you speak of loneliness, think about widows, widowers that have lost their husband and wives. Children are grown. Maybe you had no children, or maybe you had one or two, and they're doing their own thing. They may be living in another state. You know, whatever the case may be, but you're home by yourself, and you're older. You know, what life that you had seems to be gone because you don't have the children.
It's like you don't have a purpose
You
now.
don't. Yeah, it seems like that. Yeah. So hey, children need to check on their parents and grandparents to make sure Big Mama, Big Daddy is okay, not just physically, but mentally. Reaffirm who it
Yes.
is that they've always been.
But if your children don't, because we don't want to rely on our children,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
our children can mean well, but they have their own lives, so we don't want,
Yeah.
we can't sit around and wait for a phone call from them.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's true.
So if you are one who is lonely, or you're a widower, or a widow, please find something that interests you.
Yeah.
And do something new. And the reason why I say do something new, because now you're giving your brain something else to work with. You know what I mean? And that can like ward off dementia.
Yeah.
You know, give your brain something else. You know, find something that interests you. You're not too old to take up piano lessons.
Yeah.
There are many people who start off like in their 50s, 60s, you know, playing a piano. You know, one lady we was told she started playing the guitar, I think when she was in her 60s or 70s, maybe. You know, they have many things. Get a puzzle, a jigsaw puzzle, put it together. You know, they have to paint by numbers. You have to do something to occupy your
So
mind.
you're saying that there are other, you know, places of, you know, activity for seniors that may
Yes.
find out the numbers, reach out to it. Transportation, I believe, is provided
It is.
for you.
And this is something the
Sometimes put into
children
your
can step
insurance.
in and say, Mom,
Yeah.
I know you're alone. How would you like to, you know, travel with a group? They have ice cream socials. They go to movies. How can
Yeah.
I set you
Yeah,
up?
during these hours,
Right.
it is needed.
It
You don't
is
want them just
needed.
think about your life 40 years from now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I believe we always have to think forward and give to the person that's here in the now what it is that we may want in the future.
Yes.
I think that's
Correa
important.
says, word and thoughts are powerful too.
Yes.
Can make or break your mindset. Oh my goodness,
the
that's
key.
so
Yeah, most
true.
definitely.
We have to start thinking and speaking differently.
right.
That is
That's
absolutely
right.
because
Yeah.
guess what?
Yeah.
You're gonna have whatever you say.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe your situation is devastating. Maybe you've gone through a terrible
Yeah.
divorce.
Yeah.
And you feel like you know, now you're by yourself and my world is ending.
Yeah.
You have to be able to see yourself different. If you can see yourself differently, then you can have that. Now it may not come overnight.
Yeah.
Bishop already said you're
Yeah.
going to have to fight for it.
Yeah.
But your life is worth saving, no matter where you are. You know, people go through the grief process, the loss of a loved one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Devastating. Devastating. You know, it leaves a big hole in your
Right.
soul.
Right.
Grief is one of the hardest things to get over.
It is.
But it's not
It is.
worth you taking your own life.
Yeah, and causing others to grieve
And right.
and feel bad because they didn't see the signs. And, you know, as you stated, there are signs that you do see and recognize, but a person who really wants to take their life, no one knows about it until it's done.
Yeah.
I don't want you to know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll
You do
keep
have
it.
some. Yeah. Definitely.
You'll never know.
Definitely. So we don't want to.
Yeah.
feel bad, but from this point on, we just want to be more observant.
Have to.
Because
have to.
they're, no matter how much they try
Ask
to,
questions.
yeah.
Get into a person's business. I don't want you, listen, I'm in your business right now. But see, now it's up to them to tell you the truth or not.
Yes.
Because you can't force anyone to do anything they don't want to do.
That's right. So,
Yeah.
you know, we definitely want to hold them in high regard because they're at a very sensitive
Yeah.
and low place. So we want to hold them in high regard. We want to be respectful, and you don't want to try to talk people out of it. But what you do want to do is open up the door of communication.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to be like,
Yeah.
no, you shouldn't do da da da. No, well, speak to me about what's on your mind. What's so bad?
Right.
You know, what are you going through?
Right.
That you know, to bring yourself into their world. First of all, you want to be empathetic.
Yeah.
You want to see where they're coming from. Because to us, it's like, take your life. What? Da, da, da. They don't want to hear that. That's why they ain't tell you in the first place, because they already know your reaction.
And tell the truth. Empathetic and sympathetic.
Yes.
Tell the truth about the time when you felt like it yourself.
Yes, absolutely.
And you didn't do it.
That's right.
And hey, you're still here.
Because
to
9
tell the
times
story.
out of 10, most of us has been there, whether it was a fleeting thought or
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
You have thought about it at one time or another, you know, but your testimony,
Yeah.
how you survived through it, is going to be able to help someone
Yeah.
else.
Especially, I believe, when you know that you have something to contribute.
Yes.
Even if you don't feel it within yourself, you're here on the earth because you have something to contribute to the earth before you leave.
That's right. That's right.
You have something,
and your
yeah.
and your pain, your emotional pain is not going to last forever. The situation that you're in, you're going to get over your divorce. No matter how traumatic it was,
Yeah.
you're going to get over that.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
matter how traumatic the molestation was when you were a child, you're going to get over that. And things are going to get better. But you have to open up. And you
Yeah.
have to learn how to talk. This is why we call it talk therapy.
Yeah.
You have to be vulnerable to
Yeah.
someone.
Yeah.
And this is why we have professional counselors such as myself,
Yeah.
so that you can open up, so that you can be vulnerable. Never feel like you have to deal with life on your own.
Right. I was talking to someone the other day, and they were talking about some of their childhood trauma and all of that. And, you know, they said, I just want to forget it. I just want to forget it. You know, and a lot of people who turn to drugs and alcohol, it's so that they can forget it, even if it's just for a moment.
Yes.
But the truth is, when you go through situations like that, you never forget.
You can't forget.
So how do you deal with that when it's always on your mind? Is it a way for us to lessen that?
The reason
you
why
know, going
things
on-
are
yeah,
on
yeah,
your
yeah.
mind is because they have not been properly addressed.
Okay.
Thoughts come up. The thoughts are like children because they're like, mommy,
Exactly.
daddy,
Give you
daddy,
attention.
tugging
Yes.
on you.
Yeah.
Those how your thoughts are. They want to be recognized.
Pay
But if-
attention to me.
Pay attention
Most
to me.
definitely.
But if you continue to suppress, you're carrying it with you. And every one of your experiences is in every one of your cells. You can't run from you.
Right.
You can't run from you. Now, you can suppress it, but guess what? Every now and then, a piece of that ice, you know, the iceberg is going to break off.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's going to float to surface, and you're
Yeah.
going to have to deal with it again.
Yeah,
It can
yeah.
come up at the most inopportune time. It can be a sound. It can be a smell. It can be, you know, someone's shirt that reminds you of.
Because it's there. It's like
Yes.
like a scar. The scar reminds you of what happened at that
That's
time.
right.
Scar's not going anywhere.
No,
Not
it's
unless
not.
you go and you know those people.
But
that
once
can-
you look at that scar
Yeah.
and you're able to talk about that scar,
Most definitely.
you know what I mean?
So
There-
you've changed how it is. Really, not how you feel about it.
yes,
but
you've
how
changed your
you talk,
perception
you
about
change
it.
about it.
Because
Yeah, yeah.
before it's trauma,
Yeah.
and now it's for my good because
Most
it's my
definitely.
experiences,
You have to
and I'm
learn how to
victorious
use it
now.
for your
Yes.
advantage. To your
Yes.
advantage. What is that on there?
Yes,
Very
okay.
important.
Camille Owen says, what steps can you take to help a person get help without them withdrawing? Your approach is
Yeah.
going to be very, very, I have cups from Healthy Emotes that says, if it's important enough to bother you, it's important enough to discuss. I often tell people, just take a cup and bless someone with it, because it's letting them know I see you,
Yeah.
I see you, and I'm here for you. You can get cards, that says you are on my mind today. You can text someone and say, don't want much, but it seems to me like you're struggling. I want you to know that I'm here for you.
So they know that there's someone maybe that they can go to. People will definitely withdraw, period.
Yes.
Don't care how kind you are, how nice you are, whatever the case may be. I think it's more on those who notice what someone's going through to make sure that they drop hints to them. Hey,
You
I'm
just
here
want
for you.
them to
I
know.
recognize.
That's right.
I can see.
But it's going to be
Yeah.
on them to open up or
Always.
not. But you do want
Yeah.
to engage them. And you want to put yourself in, oh, let me tell you, there
Most
was
definitely.
a time when I was down and I didn't know what I was going to do. Because a lot of times people feel like they're alone.
Yeah.
It feels like you're alone, although
Yeah.
a lot of people, like we
Yeah.
said, 1.4
Yeah.
million people attempted suicide.
Or maybe they don't feel like it, but they just want to be alone. A lot of times I think they isolate themselves for purpose.
Well, that's a part of depression, though.
Yeah, yeah.
Depression
Yeah.
says to you to break off from everybody, and get by yourself,
Right.
because now I can monopolize. Depression
Yeah.
can monopolize when you're alone. So we don't want to listen to the voice of depression. And really quick before we go, another demographic that is at high risk is our elderly people.
Right, which we were just discussing and talking
Yes.
about. They need your attention, honestly.
Yes.
They need, some are not able to do for themselves. Some may be elderly now, they're still outgoing and active and still doing things. But for the one that can't get out of the house,
That's right.
listen, someone has to go over, check on, Mr. Jones. He's by himself.
Yes.
Neighbors today aren't the neighbors that we're used to
Right.
growing
And
up
they
and
need
doing
someone
things
to
for.
talk to, because they
Yeah.
they start reminiscing. They start
Yeah.
thinking about and
Yeah.
they have a lot of regrets,
Yeah.
a lot of guilt,
It's good to
a lot
learn
of
from.
shame.
Good to learn from.
Right.
Yeah.
So they need someone to talk. Usually, anybody who is
Yeah.
depressed, you don't need
Yeah.
to be your own voice of reasoning
Yeah.
ever. You don't need to be your own voice of reasoning, because whatever you say to you, it's going to sound good. Like, let's end it all.
Yeah.
Not a bad idea.
So we have to give them something to live for. Churches have I believe, a role in tending to our elderly. And what I mean by that is by what you just said. We have to have mentoring programs from our elderly. Grandparents, we all
Yes.
just used to love to go over my grandparents, sit and listen to their story. I think we can use some of our elderly people, get our young people together, let them just sit at their feet and learn and listen,
because
ask
there's a lot
questions.
to offer, a lot to
So that
offer.
gives them, an opportunity of sharing about themselves, and they feel like, hey,
Yes.
I still need to be here.
Right.
to help
I want to
someone.
touch on one more thing
Yeah.
before we go, because we said that over 90% of people who commit suicide
Yeah.
suffer from mental health issues.
Mhm.
Get the help that you need. Take
Yeah.
care of your mental health.
Yes.
Okay, if you are depressed, please go see someone.
Yeah.
Go see a professional.
A professional, not a drug dealer.
And not a drug
And
dealer.
I want to say that because we talked about the drugs.
Uh-huh.
Keep a clear mind.
Yes.
Make sure stay off. That will elevate what it is that you feel, and you will harm yourself, even if you don't want to.
Yes.
They have some terrible things out here in the streets. Fentanyl, meth, you name it, that takes
Yes.
Flocka, all of that takes you over.
Yes.
And you may kill yourself
And-
and not even intend to.
And you just exacerbate your problem, but
Most
there is
definitely.
hope and there is life for
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
You do want to call 1-800-273-8255 if
Yeah.
you are having suicidal thoughts or ideations. Talk therapy, talk to
Talk therapy,
someone.
yeah.
Most of all,
Or tune into this program, which is provided
Yes.
for the community who maybe, are not able to pay for.
are a sound mind.
Yeah.
So there are things that you can do, as far as keeping your mind together. We trust in God. Some people trust in the higher power. You have to have someone
Yeah.
higher, mightier, stronger than yourself
Yeah.
to depend on. And guess what? The people in your circle, they're no stronger and mightier
Yeah.
than you are.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can talk to them, but when it comes to advice, sound advice, you need to seek professional help.
Yeah, you don't want to talk to anyone and say, well, hey, I don't know about that one.
Yeah, yes.
I mean, you know, and what it is that we may not know, I'm the type of person, hey, if I don't know it, I'll get back with you next week, because then now I need to go to somebody that I've talked to help me.
That's right.
You
and we have
understand?
to get back to, yes, I
Most
am my
definitely.
sister's keeper. Yes,
Yeah.
I am my brother's keeper.
Mhm.
You know, because we need each other.
Yes.
We're here on this earth to help each
Yes.
other.
Yeah.
But again, you do have hope. And you
Yes.
have a whole life in front of you. You do not have to end it all. Let's keep this conversation going. If it's
Yeah.
not on here, let's open it up at home.
Yeah, talk to people in your family and kind of express to them, hey, your concern.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's been a pleasure
But
today.
it goes back to
been a
remember
pleasure being
growing
here
up.
today.
We're all at the table.
Yes.
And we're like, oh, how was your day today?
Yeah.
Now, you can't respond with one word, fine. That does
Yeah.
not fly at
Yeah.
all. Well, what was fine about it? What was the best part of your day?
Yeah, well, you know, yeah, no. Come on with it. Pull teeth. Get it
Yes,
out. Say something to me. Make them smile. You have to do something in order to make sure that you get out
That's
what
right.
you need.
Yes, and I am here for you. I am Kimberly Bozeman, the owner of Healthy Emotes
Yes.
Counseling Services. If you'd like to book an appointment, 614-669-5115. And again,
Do it all the time. Talk to her. I talk to her all the time. My sessions are free. Come talk to her. Trust me.
he's not
Come
always a
talk to
good
her.
client, though.
I'm not. I'm telling the truth. I'm not.
He-
Hey, you
he
can
doesn't
come
do his
visit us,
homework.
1571, that is true. South Parsons Avenue, the Great Assembly of First Faith Church. We'll be glad to have you with us.
And come
on
celebrate our anniversary
Come
with
do
us
it.
to Sunday,
Yes.
this Sunday.
Sunday. Yeah.
All right, we love you all, and thank you for tuning in.
All right. See you next week.